So it is 7:31 p.m. on Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Good evening. My name is Christian Klein. I'm the chair of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals, and I'm calling this meeting of the board to order. I'd first like to confirm that all members and anticipated officials are present. From the Zoning Board of Appeals, we have Roger DuPont.
Here.
We have Patrick Hanlon.
Here.
And Venkat Hully.
Here.
Adam LeBlanc.
Here.
Brad Baranowski.
Here.
And Nick Rosenberg.
Here.
Good to have you all with us. On behalf of the town, we have Colleen Ralston, our clerk and zoning assistant.
Here.
Good to have you with us as well. And then for docket 3900, 304 Washington Street, Vishwe Patil.
Here.
Good to have you with us as well. So tonight's meeting of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals is being conducted remotely, consistent with the bill signed by Governor Healy on March 28th, 2025, which extended temporary provisions pertaining to the open meeting law to June 30th, 2027. The extension of these provisions allows public bodies to hold their meetings remotely by providing live, adequate alternative means of public access to the deliberations. This meeting is being recorded and will be broadcast by ACMi. Members of the public who are participating via Zoom and who wish to offer public comment should be aware that they will be asked to provide their full name and address so a complete public record of the meeting can be taken in accordance with state law. All participants of this meeting are advised that people may be listening to the meeting without offering public comment, and those people are not required to identify themselves. Any votes that are taken this evening will be conducted by roll call vote. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. As chair, I reserve the right to take items out of order in the interest of promoting an orderly meeting. As a board, we'll be taking up new business at this meeting. As chair, I make the following land acknowledgement. Whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Arlington, Massachusetts discusses and arbitrates the use of land in Arlington, formerly known as Menotomy, an Algonquin word meaning swift waters, the board hereby acknowledges that the town of Arlington is located on the ancestral lands of the Massachusetts tribe, the tribe of indigenous peoples from whom the colony, province, and commonwealth have taken their names. We pay our respects to the ancestral bloodline of the Massachusetts tribe and their descendants who still inhabit historic Massachusetts territories today. So moving on to our agenda. First, we have a few administrative items. These items relate to the operation of the board and as such will generally be conducted without input from the general public. Board will not take up any new business on any prior hearings, nor will there be the introduction of any new information on matters previously brought before the board. So the first item are the minutes from April 28th, our previous meeting. Those meetings were prepared by Ms. Ralston, distributed to the board for questions and comments, and final version posted back to the board. Are there any additional questions or comments in regards to the minutes from April 28th? Seeing none, I will move that the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Arlington approve the minutes for the April 28th, 2026 meeting of the board.
Second.
Thanks, Hanlon. The roll call vote of the board, Mr. DuPont?
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Holly?
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes.
Mr. Baranowski?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
The chair votes yes, those are approved. Next item on our agenda is vote on the final decision in docket 3897, 27 Brand Street. This is a decision that was written by Mr. Hanlon, distributed to the board for questions and comments. Final version posted back to the board. Are there any additional questions or comments in relation to the written decision for docket 3897? So seeing none, I will move the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Arlington approve and adopt the written decision in docket 3897, 27 Brand Street, which grants a special permit for the erection of a front porch partly within the front yard setback under section 39D in the zoning bylaw.
Second.
Thanks, Mr. Hanlon. So with 5 members of the board present, we'll have them vote. Mr. DuPont?
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Holly?
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So that brings the next item on our agenda, which is the decision in docket 3898, 26 Dudley Street. I was recused on this, so I will ask Mr. Hanlon to conduct the vote on the decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have before us a proposed written decision in docket number 3898, 26 Dudley Street, which was prepared by Mr. Rosenberg and distributed to the board for questions and comments. The final version was distributed to the board earlier today. Are there any comments or questions on the draft as we have it before us? All right, seeing none, I move that the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Arlington approve and adopt the written decision in docket 3898, 26 Dudley Street, which grants a variance for the erection of an addition within the front right side and rear yard backs. Is there a second?
Second.
Who did that?
Mr. Black. Mr.
LeBlanc seconds. We'll do a vote. We don't have five people. Since Mr. Klein is recused, we need to have one of the associates vote, act as a full member on this one, and I'd appoint Mr. Baranowski to do that. So we'll have a roll call. Mr. Baranowski?
Yes.
Mr. DuPont?
Yes.
Mr. Holy?
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion carries 5-0. Mr. Chair, Mr. Klein, you're welcome to resume the chair.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So with that, that moves us on to the public hearings for tonight. Before opening tonight's meeting for public hearings, here are some ground rules for clear and effective conduct of tonight's business. After I announce each agenda item, I will ask the applicant to introduce themselves or themselves and make their presentation to the board. I will then request that members of the board ask what questions they have on the proposal. And after the board's questions have been answered, I will open the meeting for public comment. At the conclusion of public comment, the board will deliberate and vote to either continue or to close the public hearing. All votes will be conducted by roll call vote. The final vote on any matter before the board will be taken at a subsequent meeting once the written decision has been drafted and provided to the board. After the decision has been adopted and signed, the decision will be filed with the town clerk, starting the 20-day appeal period under state law. After that time, the applicant may proceed with their building permit. However, under state law, no decision granted by this board shall take effect until a certified copy of the final decision has been filed with and recorded at the Middlesex South Registry of Deeds in Cambridge by the applicant. So with that, the first public hearing, I guess the only public hearing on our agenda this evening, is docket 3900 304 Washington Street. So I would go ahead and ask the applicant to introduce themselves and tell us what they are proposing to do.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jim Rissling, and I'm representing Mr. Patil and presenting the project. I am. Let me back up. James Rissling from LR Designs in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Mr. Patil and his wife wish to add approximately 405 square feet to the first floor of their home at 304 Washington Street. This is a corner lot at the corner of Washington Street in Wigwam Circle. The addition is for the use of, primarily for the use of their parents when they have extended stays. They'd like them to be on the first floor. The lot is rather shallow but wide, and this is really the only open area in which they can do such an addition to provide a downstairs bedroom, bathroom, and sitting area as part of the program. The house is currently an existing non-conforming structure, and as it relates to Section 8.1.3b, we wish to seek to increase this existing non-conforming structure. The addition is proposed to be in the front setback of Wigwam Circle, reducing that setback from 22.9 feet to 12.3 feet. Again, it's only a one-story. I'm not sure, are the documents available or do I need to share?
I can share them for you if you'd like.
Okay, I just want to talk through it if that's okay.
Where's my... There you go.
All right, so this first sheet is a comparison of the existing, which is on the left, and the proposed on the right. And the pink hatch represents the extent of the addition, and the green hatch represents landscape area. The gray hatch represents usable open space. And this is a little erroneous. We've since fixed it. There's a hatched area up in the upper left of each or upper right of each site plan that is actually too shallow to be considered open space, but that's their their patio area. So that's an area of outside enjoyment. May I have the next sheet, please? So the plan is rotated. So Wigwam Circle is at the top of the page right now, and Washington Street is to the left. And this is a plan view of the addition. We would be removing a bay that extends into the setback and replacing it with these two rooms and a bathroom at the first floor level. And then if the next sheet, please. So this shows the existing house with the addition. The addition is the one-story structure on the left of the front elevation at the top right corner. And then we have a side view at the left here. The top left is what the view would be on Wigwam. And then the bottom image is basically facing the back of the lot or the side lot on Wigwam Circle. And then the last sheet is the existing conditions and some photos that show you the context of where we are proposing the addition. This is the corner lot and the corner which the addition is proposed.
Great, thank you very much.
Sure.
So one thing I will just note in general. So I had raised a question with the building inspector earlier about the nature of there's a two-story bay that exists in the front yard of Wigwam Circle. That's what the 22.9 is to the face of that. It doesn't go to the ground, so there's no foundation under it. And so I had asked him if it did in fact count as the front facade of the house, or if it was just like a bay window and the actual facade of the house was back at the house line. He confirmed that because it is a two-story structure, it does in fact bring the front of the house with it because of the nature of it. And so the 22.9 is the actual front yard setback, and therefore the house is non-conforming with regards to the front yard setback on Wigwam Circle. And the other question I had, and I would just ask, what is the other protrusion? Is it a fireplace or?
Yes, that's a fireplace. It will be removed.
It'll be removed. Okay.
Yep. And that's only like half a story. It's just a box that sticks out of the living room.
Okay. Uh, so the new addition, the proposal, it's just over 12 feet setback on Wigwam Circle. And is it 27.5 feet?
That's correct from
Okay.
from where the arc meets the front line.
Okay. And so it does maintain 25 feet in both directions. So it does maintain the required corner visibility um, that the town asks for. What's the nature of Wigwam Circle? Is it a dead end street? Is it actually a circle?
It is a dead end. I think there's maybe 6 houses up there. I didn't think to count, but it is a dead end, almost a cul-de-sac.
Okay. Odd that it's named Circle and it's not a circle. Uh, okay. Are there questions from the board in regards to the application?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. LeBlanc?
just wanted to remind myself, when we have two front yards, what do we, do we then have two side yards? I always forget. Or do we consider one the side and one the rear yard?
Yes, we have two fronts, one side and one rear. And I believe, looking at the application, that the side yard is the one that comes out perpendicular along Washington Street, is the side, and then the rear is along Wigwam.
Okay, so then it would be also extending the non-conformity for the rear yard too,
Um,
or increasing it. Okay.
correct. So the
Yes.
rear yard setback, let me go ahead and just want to bring up this stuff. I don't know which document I'm looking for here.
Because it's 13.5 required, 13.6,
Yeah,
and proposing and 13.3 is existing,
okay.
and the proposed would be 10'3".
Thank you. That was the number I couldn't find. Okay. That would be correct. So it would be looking for in both the rear yard, or actually this is still technically the front yard because it hasn't extended past the front line of the house. So the side yard doesn't start until the face of the house. But I guess you're right, because now the face of the house is moving to here, that this does now become, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all. I just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify.
Great. Thank you. Go ahead and stop the share. Are there other questions or comments from board? Seeing none.
Chairman, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Hanlon.
This is, I hadn't thought of the point that Mr. LeBlanc just made. But if the nonconformity is only there because of the face of the house is being moved as a result of the addition, is this a new nonconformity or still the extension of an old one, since it relates to a different side of the house?
Well, I think as Mr. LeBlanc had said, the required rear yard setback, because the lot is so shallow, is only 13.6 feet. And the current rear yard setback is 13.3, so it's already non-conforming with regards to the rear yard setback as well.
Okay.
And then by the proposed plan, yeah, let me go ahead, maybe back out of this a little bit. Um, so this is 13.3 to this part of the existing house back here. This is the existing bulkhead for basement access. On the plan, on the site plan, it shows the bump out here. This part that's extending a little bit further, these are just the steps beyond the landing. So it's the setback for the house is along this line here, which according to the site plan is this right here, which is the 10.3, or excuse me, 10.25, 10'3". Or is the drizzling is the
No, it is to the corner of the vertical structure, not the yes,
Okay.
to that corner, not the landing and steps to grade.
okay. So it's to the actual single enclosed
Yes.
addition. Okay,
Yes.
great, thank you. Okay. Are there questions from the board at this time? Seeing none, I will now be opening the meeting for public comment. Note public questions and comments will be taken as they relate to the matter at hand. It should be directed to the board for the purpose of informing its decision. Members of the public will be granted time to ask questions and make comments. Those who wish to address the board should digitally raise their hand using the button on the React tab in the Zoom application. Those calling in by phone, please dial *9 to indicate you would like to speak. You'll be called upon by the chair, asked to give your full name and address for the record, and given time for questions and comments. All questions are to be addressed through the chair. Please remember to speak clearly. And once all public questions and comments have been addressed or a designated period of time has elapsed, the public comment period will be closed. So with that, are there any members of the public who wish to address this application? Again, this is docket 3900 304 Washington Street. We have a hand up, Mr. Steve Moore.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Steve Moore, Piedmont Street. Happily, it looks like no trees are being taken for this addition, so that's not the point I need to speak about. That's good news. However, my question is this. This looks like a fairly new home. When was this home first built, if I could ask the applicant?
Jerusalem, do you know?
I think was it Miss
Yeah, this is Vishwesh. I'm the owner. Can I say?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, this house was built in 2016.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's helpful. And I guess I would ask additionally of the owner or applicant's representative, when was this house purchased by the current owner?
Mr. Patil?
Oh yeah, we purchased this house in 2016. So the house was finished in, I think, end of 2015, and we purchased this house in 2016. We
Great.
have been living here for more than, I think, 10 years now.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess my question is perhaps rhetorical. I'm not quite sure. Why is it a house purchased and built in 2015, purchased in 2016, a conforming house? And why was that allowed at the time with a building permit?
This house was constructed on an existing foundation, so I'm not sure of the permitting process at the time, but the footprint was already established. So I don't know what approvals were required, but that's probably why the house pokes out like it does.
So, Mr. Chair, it sounds like the house was built just up from whatever previous structure was there before, and it allowed a repeat of the nonconformity that existed with the structure that was there prior to this home. Is that the conjecture of the applicant?
That's our understanding of the situation. In speaking with the building inspector, he also noted that if in fact what was built had been approved by the building department at that time incorrectly, sufficient time has now passed that which would be a period of 6 years for something that's been approved for it to become established as an existing nonconformity.
Okay, that helps, Mr. Chair. I guess I understand better now how procedure works on the propagation of nonconformities into the future. I guess I guess that answers my question. I had one more, but it's just flown out of my head, as questions often do at my age. It had to do with the building inspector's approval. So that basically nonconformities can propagate this way, correct?
Correct.
Okay, even though this house was looks quite a bit larger than the original, and now will be larger still. And I guess that's why it requires a special permit. Okay, well, I can't remember my former question. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Are there any other members of the public who wish to address this application? Seeing none, I will go ahead and close this public hearing for public comment. Board will now discuss the findings and either vote to close the hearing or recommend a continuance. So what the board has before it, this is an application for effectively a special permit that is an extension of an existing nonconformity, which comes to us under section 813. Let me go to my cheat sheet here. And so the way the board typically views these, the requirement under the section of the bylaw, this is effectively a section 6 determination, which is an extension or alteration, will not increase the nonconforming nature, that the increase in the nonconforming nature of the structure will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing condition. And in making that determination, the board will use the findings for a special permit to help evaluate. So the primary of those is that the adverse effects of the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts. And there are subsequent findings under that. So to review those, so requested use is allowed or allowed by special permit in the district. Section 813 allows the expansion with a finding of the board that is not substantially more detrimental than the existing condition. Why is the requested use essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare? Excuse me, as the applicant had noted, the intention of this addition to the home is to allow for aging parents to more safely visit and be able to reside in the house on a single floor level rather than having to navigate the stairs, which makes the house more amenable to multiple generations, which is a good thing. It also allows an increase in the use of the structure in a way that is beneficial to the homeowners, but also increases the value of the property, which brings general value to the town. The next is that the requested use will not create undue traffic congestion or impair pedestrian safety. I would just ask, I believe this is a section of town that does not have sidewalks. Is that correct? See Mr. Patil nodding.
Yes.
So there's not a particular pedestrian path here. As we've noted, the addition is still at least 25 feet back in both directions from both Wigwam and from Washington, and has a clear corner, so it does not impair visibility. And the Wigwam Circle, being a cul-de-sac, does not have a higher traffic load, so that this should not impact this, and this does not impact the parking area of the home, and is away from where the parking is, and so it does not impact the homeowner's visibility of the street or the area in front of their home as they are trying to exit their property. Requested use will not overload any public system. As was shown in the plans, this small single-story addition includes one bedroom, one bathroom, and a sitting area, and so it does not dramatically increase the amount of public services and public systems that are utilized by the property. Next is the special regulations for the requested use are fulfilled. There are not the only special regulation would just be that it's the finding that it is not substantially more detrimental, and that's what we are working towards. The next is that the requested use will not impair the character or integrity of the district. So this is I will note that this addition on this property is not sort of reflected elsewhere on Wigwam. For the most part, Wigwam is much farther back, more towards where the house is currently. So this is sort of unusual for the neighborhood, having it so close to the street. We'll note that it is moving in the direction of the side street, not in the direction of the front street, and does sort of allow the house to sort of maintain its appearance along Washington, although it's a little bit different along Wigwam. The detailing of the addition does match the detailing of the existing house. It is fairly modest in nature, so I think the board should consider, but I think the board can find that um, it does not impair the character or integrity of the district. The next is the requested use will not be detrimental to public health or welfare. It just allows the owners and the parents of the owners to better utilize, enjoy the home. And the last is the requested use will not cause an excess of use detrimental to the neighborhood. This remains a single-family house in a single-family district, should not, which is exactly what the district is for, and so it should not cause an excess of use. Um, are there any questions or comments in regards to those proposed findings for this hearing?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hanlon?
I just want to say, at least in the discussion that the chair has just presented, there was a slight degree of hesitation over the fact that this isn't quite similar to what's on Wigwam. I was out there yesterday and I was looking really at a similar sort of thing, and it did seem to me that if you imagine, I mean, essentially there's a lawn there now, and there'll be a relatively small addition added to it. And whatever the discrepancy between that and the other houses on Wigmont, which since this is the corner, they're extending back uh, uh, not very far, but there are several houses there. I thought that it fit in fine. I was not struck by or offended by the fact that the addition was a little bit unusual. That it is a fairly, it does make a fairly large diminution in the size in the front yard there from 25 almost to what it will be after you put in down to about 12 feet. But there's lots of space in general in that area, and I do not think it would be inconsistent with the zoning district because of whatever issue there may be with respect to Wigwam Street, Wigwam Circle.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. Other questions or comments from the board? Should the board be inclined to approve the application, there are 3 standard conditions that the board would apply. The first is that the plans and specifications approved by the board for the special permit shall be the final plans and specifications submitted to the building inspector of the town of Arlington in connection with this application for zoning relief. There should be no deviation during construction from approved plans and specifications without the express written approval of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals. The second is that the building inspector is hereby notified there to monitor the site and should proceed with appropriate enforcement procedures at any time they determine that violations are present. The building inspector shall proceed under section 3.1 of the zoning bylaw and under the provisions of chapter 40, section 21D of the Massachusetts general laws and institute non-criminal complaints. If necessary, the building inspector may also approve and institute appropriate criminal action, also in accordance with section 3.1. And number 3 is that the board shall maintain continuing jurisdiction with respect to this special permit grant. I would also encourage the board to consider a condition, even though it is already sort of covered in our continuing jurisdiction, but to condition that special permit would be required for any second story addition in the area of this addition. Are there any other conditions that members of the board feel would be appropriate in order to approve this application? Seeing none, I will ask Mr. Hanlon if he would be willing to direct the drafting of a decision in favor of approval of this application.
I would, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that. So with that, any further comments from the board? Seeing none, I will go ahead and move that the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Arlington close the public hearing for docket 3900 304 Washington Street.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. So this is a vote to close the public hearing, and then the board will have a written decision to vote, cast a final vote at the next hearing of the board, which will be 2 weeks from tonight, which would be the 26th. So with that roll call vote of members present, Mr. DuPont,
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Hawley,
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc,
Yes.
Mr. Baranowski,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. We are closed on 304 Washington Street. Thank you so much for being before us this evening.
Thank you very much for your considerate, thoughtful approach to this.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the board, as I noted, our next hearing is coming up on May 26th. Ms. Ralston, what does that night look like for us?
We have a small property, like 2,700 square feet, 2,700. And they are trying to square off the back of their house with a one-story addition.
Okay. Right. And then after that, we're into June. So June 9, June 23, and July 14 dates coming up after that. So last night at town meeting, they took up Article 47, which was had been recommended by the board to have the town change the definition for building height to allow houses that are within the floodplain, the federal floodplain district, to be able to use the mean flood elevation as the basis for building height rather than the average grade on site. And had a little bit of discussion, not very much, and passed overwhelmingly. So it's nice to have that approved. As we get a little closer to the fall, we can sort of reconvene again about what items have come up during our practice for the year that we may want to recommend for the ARB. And I certainly have a list of things that we've recommended to them in the past that they've not acted on that we will encourage them to act on again.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hanlon.
I think it's also helpful for the board to realize that town meeting also approved some amendments to the rules on home occupations, which have been vexing here. I'm not sure that all of the things that we thought of as being problematic were addressed, but some were, and I think that that provision is better. That didn't really come as directly from us, but we have complained about that for some time now, and there's been a change in the right direction.
Yep. So those of us that are architects and lawyers that have been doing work within our own houses, we are now legally doing it, which is great. And with that, are there any other announcements?
Mr. Chair, could I
Mr. Baranowski.
So I've taken a tenure track position at Southern Methodist University School of Law, starting in the fall. And that means that although we're keeping our place up here in Arlington because my wife will still be working here and I'll be flying back and forth every so often, I won't really be a resident anymore in any meaningful sense of that term. So I'm going to have to, at the end of July, step down and let someone else take the reins. I'll be here till then, though. I want to, make sure that I do my work. But believe me, it was a hard decision to make, this one, and I did think about, like, well, maybe I could just fly back for these meetings. I was like, no, that's insane. I cannot do that. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I could just point
Zoom.
out, yeah,
Mr. Hanlon.
I was exactly the point. It's Zoom. You don't have to fly back. You just have to get on the same computer you're on now. And you are going to be flying back to because it becomes a sort of a domicile. So you may want to reconsider whether or not this step means that you have to resign from the board. I hope you do. reconsider.
Well, either way, congratulations. Sounds like a great
Indeed.
position.
Well, I'll take that under consideration because I was trying to be very considerate of the fact that it felt a little bit like I was not fully invested in the town, even though I still pay a mortgage here.
And taxes, there's a lot
Yeah.
of connections.
Yeah. Good.
Not to mention Mrs. Baranowski.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, I need to talk to Ms. Ralston about adding a public comment period at the end of our hearings. Mr. Moore, you have a public comment?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. You've repeatedly said that now. I hope it's not too irritating when I have my comments at the end of the meetings. But there are things that are beyond cases that I need to talk about. And in this particular case, I also want to offer my congratulations to Mr. Baranowski. I'm not sure, you said it was a 10-year position, so is your wife going to consider moving eventually?
It's a 10-year track. And
Oh yeah, right.
it's a 10-year track. She's an academic as well, and so it's military households and academic households share that in common where you move around. So maybe at some point, but she's somewhat tethered to this area.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, I was just thinking that you still, of course, are interested in streetscapes and issues of how your house sits in your neighborhood. And the way you can continue to impact that is by staying on the board of Lighting, just as Mr. Handler suggests. So thank you for offering that, Mr. Handler.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I was worried you were going to make a pitch for the tree committee. So,
Well, I will take that into consideration. I'll take that into serious consideration and think about it. So I won't tender. I will not tender formally my resignation at this moment. Then, but I didn't want to do anything that was untoward.
Sure. Well, thank you. We have been very, very lucky to have you for the time we have, and if we can have you for longer, we would be very glad to do so as well. So with that, I would like to thank you all for your participation in tonight's meeting of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals. I appreciate everyone's patience throughout the meeting. I would especially like to thank Colleen Ralston and Mike Champa for their assistance in preparing for and hosting our online meeting. Please note the purpose of the board's recording the meeting is to ensure the creation of an accurate record of its proceedings. It's our understanding that the recording made by ACMi will be available on demand at acmi.tv within the coming days. Arlington Community Media is dedicated to providing an electronic forum for the free exchange of information and ideas which reflect the talent, skills, interests, concerns, and diversity of the Arlington community. Please visit acmi.tv to learn how to support this valuable public resource. If anyone has comments or recommendations, please send them via email to zba@town.arlington.ma.us. That email address is also listed on the Zoning Board of Appeals website. And to conclude tonight's meeting, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And the second was from Mr. DuPont. So then a roll call vote of the board to adjourn. Mr. DuPont.
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon.
Yes.
Mr. Holly. I think that's a yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Yes.
Mr. Baranowski.
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The board is adjourned. Thank you all so much for participating tonight, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Except for Mr. Moore and Mr. Hanlon, who we'll see tomorrow night.
Yes, that's true.
Good night, all.
Night all.
Good night.
Everyone.